by birth, family but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth. Brothers but not by birth, family but not by DNA. Dave and Adam are two of a kind, and they wanna borrow some of your day to talk into your ear holes about midi-chlorians and roller coasters. Those two things are unrelated, but so are they. They're unrelated at birth, like most people who aren't related. Unrelated at birth, but they're brothers in a brotherly way. Now it's time for the phenomenal brother and the golden voice of the South. They're brothers from different mothers, but they're both really proud to be unrelated at birth.
And welcome back into the great, exciting, and wonderful Unrelated at Birth. As always, you've got the one, the only, the golden voice of the South, the human jukebox, Dave Adams, coming to you, and I can finally say it again, live and in living color, all the way from the top of the state of Alabama. That's right, in Madison, Alabama, in the Unrelated at Birth podcast studios. And you have Adam's soundboard. And as always, I have brought along my friend from Lakeland.
It's not New York.
I mean, I didn't come prepared for that one. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
The one, the only, the phenomenal brother, Adam Joseph Russell.
How you doing, sir?
Well, as you can hear, I'm James Earl Jones again tonight.
Yeah.
You know, Mufasa.
Ooh.
Ooh. Say it again. Say it again. Sinus season in the state of Alabama is real.
What specifically do you think it is? Is it ragweed?
It's ragweed.
Yeah.
It always happens about the week before I go on vacation.
Nice.
Every
Better than the week
time.
you go on vacation.
That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
I mean,
Bright side.
the last time I was down in Lakeland, remember I had voice issues.
Yeah.
So I've been tested. It's not the vid. I promise. I tested just about 30 minutes.
We're remote. You can get whatever you want to get. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I don't want to.
Well, I wouldn't want you to either. I'm just saying.
I mean, I'm getting on a cruise ship in 7 days.
Yeah.
No, 10 days.
Don't tell anybody. Have you been sick in the last 10 days with any symptoms of COVID? No, I have not.
No, I have not. What are you talking about?
Throw him in the brig. All right. Who's this Facebook user? I
Yeah.
got to know we're live. So if you're listening on the podcast, we are live on Facebook right now and YouTube. And
we
so
got
we'll
to
be
know.
reacting to
So if
comments.
you are a part, that's Matt Manders, my co-host of Around the Fire Pit. If Matt, dude, you know how we do this. Hit the little StreamYard thing.
I remember someone giving me a hard time about that a few weeks ago. Who was that? Oh, I believe it was the Around the Fire Pit podcast.
I believe it was Matt Manders giving you the
Well, it's supposed to be you.
time.
Did him too. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, we're here. We're live. We've got a packed show tonight. Oh, Matt says, sorry, I'm watching AEW too. That's on my podcast TV. Don't worry.
Nice.
We got a packed show. I've got a tribute. We got some stuff to talk about with movies. You've got some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Your Jurassic Park
recaps. Yeah.
You did Halloween Horror Nights. Dude, we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So let's just get to it. I want to do a quick tribute, guys. If y'all know me as personally, you might have saw my post on Facebook a couple of days ago. Actually, it was yesterday on Tuesday, the 26th. A very sad day in my life. It's the death of my grandfather, Papa. Papa actually died before I met Adam. So, Adam, you never really got a chance to hear me talk about him live as he was alive. But I know over our 20-something years of being friends, you've heard me mention him a bunch of times.
Sure. Yeah.
But if there was a man besides my father who I say is the reason I am who I am, it's Gordon Darnell. And I am trying to find pictures of him here that I have. Well, for some reason, StreamYard won't let me do it. But anyway, this was like the quintessential granddad for me. Whenever me and my dad got into big fights, I'd always drive to Papa's house. We'd just sit there and talk. When I was a freshman at Bama, about 2 weeks before he died, quick story to kind of tell you how he is. I didn't make the marching unit at first at Bama because I'd never marched at high school. My high school didn't have a football team. We didn't have a marching band. I got noticed by the director, got put in as an alternate. So my very first game to march at was at Legion Field. And I thought that was just hot crap. I called Papa, said, "Hey, Papa, I know what heaven's going to feel like tonight because I walked on this field that Papa brought me up to be a legend in my mind, right? He in his deep gravelly voice, and I could do it now because I have that." Yeah. He always talked like this. He reminded me of the Bear. A lot of big football fans teared up when they saw the old Bear video from the 90s and 2000s. Remember, where I ain't never been nothing but a winner. Oh, yeah. I cry not because of Alabama. I cry because that reminds me of Papa, how he talked. But I called him, said, "Papa, I know what heaven feels like." He said, "Did you see St. Peter?" I said, "No, I saw St. Bear," and we just laughed. And a sad story for me, and this is how his life ended. And this tells you how big of a cheerleader Papa was for me. We had always just, I jokingly, I never played a lot of football because I didn't get a chance to, right? So jokingly, I told Papa, I said, "Papa, I'm going to find a way to get on that field in Alabama. I'm going to find a way to get on Bryant-Denny Stadium field." And he said, "Well, no matter what, I will watch your very first game on the grass at Bryant-Denny Stadium." I find my first game at Bryant-Denny Stadium was against Arkansas, September 25th. September 25th.
Yeah.
I marched. I walked through the field. I wanted to call Papa afterwards, just because that was what I'd do. We call and talk about the game. Something held me back. Something said, "David, don't do it." Come to find out, he died right probably about 10 hours after the game. But I found out from my mom later, he couldn't talk. He was struggling to breathe that day. But he wrote down, turn the game on. I made a promise. Papa, in his last days, was my biggest cheerleader. He knew what it meant to me, and knew what it meant to him to see that. The hardest part about being at that funeral was A, losing Papa, but B, everybody I talked to said, David, the last time I talked to Gordon, he was saying how proud he was of you and how much happiness you brought him being down there. If I could go back and do college all over again, I probably wouldn't go down to Bama my freshman year, just because going from a small school to a big school was a big struggle for me, and you know that. Yeah. But I believe in God's perfect plan. God knew I couldn't be in Huntsville to watch the man I love, the man I'll call it, the man I idolize, the man who played college quarterback for UT Chattanooga, to watch him dwindle into nothing. But the memories I have of him now are so strong and so amazing, just because I didn't have to sit here and watch him dwindle away. I get those happy memories, and I thank God that I did screw around at Alabama and didn't go to Calhoun my freshman year. So yeah, there you go. There's my tribute to Papa, Gordon Darnell.
You learned a lot from that. A lot of us.
Yeah.
How to be with just people and celebrating their success, whether we're there to see it physically or are part of it or have the same things in our lives. That's good.
Yeah. I want somehow somebody to remember me the way I remember Papa.
Yeah.
Just because he was a huge shining light in my life.
Yeah. You got the opportunity.
I hope so.
Yeah.
The other thing that scares me is so I'll post this picture in the Facebook listener group.
Okay.
But it's a picture of Papa holding me. I made it my profile picture yesterday. It's a picture of Papa holding me on the back porch. I had blonde hair at the time.
Yep.
Papa was only 3 years older than I am currently.
Oh my gosh.
If you look at the picture, he looks old. So
yeah, man. You know, people looked older back then. That's just it.
They really did.
It's so funny. Yeah.
They really did. All right. Do we read comments or do we just?
Yeah, we can do a couple.
Okay. Mike Watts, Dave, that's heartfelt, and as a hospice chaplain, I hear so many stories like that, like this, as it's tough watching your loved ones pass away, and there's nothing you could do but be there for them. God bless you, and this is a wonderful tribute. Thank you, Mike. That's awesome to hear, and thank you for the work you do as a hospice chaplain. That's tough. Let's lighten the mood for a minute. I have a buddy of mine who is, at least was, a hospice chaplain here in Decatur, Alabama, a town right over. And you have to know, this guy's name is Brad. Brad was my old youth pastor. So tell you how I think I've told you this story, haven't I?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's got this weird, quirky sense of humor. Emma says hello. Hello.
Hi, Emma. And hi to my mom and dad too. They commented too.
Hey, everybody.
Miss those.
Yeah. So Brad's sense of humor is just weird and quirky. He had forgotten to turn his phone on silent when he was visiting a family one day. And his ringtone was the Undertaker's wrestling entrance theme. And it just dum 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 dum. Some people, right?
Oh man, this is why we can't have nice things, people.
That's why we can't have nice things. I'm trying to find out who this powerful word, great memory, is that said that. So if you say whoever that powerful words, brother, great memory, let me know who that is. Because it says Facebook user right now. Adam, do
Yeah.
you want to go into what our topic is?
No, I want to talk about my stuff first.
Oh, that was Aaron Brown.
I knew
Aaron,
you'd get distracted by the comments, man.
awesome, brother. All right, I'm done now.
Ooh, another comment. Ooh, another comment.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
No, I just a couple of quick recaps on my side. Recently had my birthday, and
Woo-hoo.
weekend did two things. Halloween Horror Nights.
Yes.
Aiden and Blair, not Emma. Aiden and Blair. And
Ew.
and did a Jurassic Park in concert with the Florida Symphony where they played the music to the movie while you watched the movie. And
Did the whole family go to that?
yes, the whole family went to that. They'd seen Jurassic Park already, so it was kind of something they've already seen where they could focus on the other side of it without, seeing the movie for the first time.
Right.
And I'll talk about the first one first. I would rank this Halloween Horror Nights third on the list of ones that I've been to. It's hard to top 2018 and 2019.
Well, because that was our first two.
Well, it was the first two, and you had Ghostbusters and Us and Depths of Fear and Patient Zero. Like, there are a lot of ones that stick out.
Poltergeist.
Yeah, a lot of ones that stick out, especially with the originals. And then the last couple, post-COVID ones, they were trying to get back on their feet, and I don't feel like it was as memorable, especially from a IP non-original house perspective.
Right.
But I'd give it a solid A and put it number 3 on my list, and can't wait to experience it and share with everybody here. I'm not going to give you any spoilers until we talk it, or until you go. And
well, I've seen all the houses.
I know, but it's different to go through it. So here's required listening for you.
Okay.
There's a Discover Universal podcast that I've shared an episode of with you in the past. They sit down with the art directors. Oh, yeah, but they sit down with the art directors of HHN and the story writers, and they actually explain the backstory and the story that each house is telling, which you don't get. And I've said this before. I wish they had some way to tell that to you while you're in line.
Okay, while you're in line.
I think you miss so much, but I think listening to that before we go is required for you, because I think a little more context.
I've got a 10-hour car ride.
Yeah, exactly. I remember seeing things that I didn't get at the time that I understand now and can't wait to see again. So,
really? Okay.
But I'd rank it a high A, number 3 on my list.
Hey, when are we buying those tickets, by the way?
Soon. Soonish. Yeah, it's coming up on time. But the other thing, one of the single most favorite things we've ever done is that Jurassic Park thing.
Really?
It was so seamless that sometimes I actually forgot to watch the symphony because the music, note for note, beat for beat, even the Mr. DNA cartoon sequence was all played by the orchestra.
Now that's cool.
And it was, you have that soundtrack in your head, and if it was different, it would make it a little jarring. But the conductor had a screen in front of him. Like, if you think about a big tablet someone would do drafts on, right? Big,
right?
Not 55-inch, but pretty big. And it had the movie playing with these bars going across the screen that told him when the measure was up and when the music would start and all of that. And then they had a sheet music for every scene. But it was so seamless, sometimes I forgot that they were there.
Wow.
But it literally, there were a couple of points when you first hear the theme when they're in the helicopter, the Petticoat Lane scene where he talks about his flea circus, and the final credits. I teared up because it's just, there's something that's always visceral to me about seeing a symphony live.
Oh yeah.
Something like that you don't realize is in your brain that deep, right? Because you just watch the movie and it's there. When you create a separate experience of it, it means more. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to explain, but it made me emotional in a couple of points. It was really good.
It does mean more. I want to see, they're doing a Harry Potter.
Yes. Yeah, that would be
I want to see that.
It's got to be the first one though.
Why?
The other ones would be good. It has to either be the first one so that you get like the whole thing, right? All of the first music, all of the introductions, or the one with Always. Those would be the two.
Yeah.
Right? So I think you're talking the first or the last then, right?
Yeah. I want to see somebody do Star Wars.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen Star Wars out there. Yeah.
But It's not one that you want to see.
There's something. Okay, Star Wars is very marchy, like a Sousa march the whole time. Most of it. Now, Binary Sunset.
Not my favorite.
Binary
song.
Sunset is one of those
not
scenes.
My favorite song.
Well, what's your favorite song?
Oh, come on.
Just answer the question.
Duel of Fates.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not going to watch fan. I'm not paying good money to watch.
I would
anywhere.
To see Duel of Fates, or give me.
What if they don't have like a chamber choir?
They'd have to give me Revenge of the Sith, because you hear Duel of Fates where they're doing the Mustafar thing.
Yeah. I was talking more about original trilogy. Is more
well, okay, but I'm talking the best ones. So
you're such an apologist. We all hated him at the time, and you can act.
I never did.
You hated him too.
I did not.
Hated him too.
I never did.
How about you were underwhelmed?
I was underwhelmed with 2.
There you go.
But never with 1 and 3.
Well, 1 is basically Harry Potter. I mean, it's a kid's movie.
No, Harry Potter is Star Wars.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, fight
just
me.
Little tiny lightsabers.
Right, exactly.
Wooden lightsabers, yeah. So anyway, both really cool things. That Jurassic Park in concert will stick out to me for a long, long time now.
Yeah,
really
I got a chance to do Pirates of the Caribbean, something like that, and it was so cool. It's so seamless the way they do it.
It's amazing. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was shocked. I'll say it one more time. I was shocked that they did the Mr. DNA. That is a very complex piece of music.
Oh yeah,
but it was almost like by watching them play that, it's what the orchestras looked like when they were making cartoons.
Yeah,
back in the 30s, 40s, 50s. That's kind of what that feels like, and so it was really cool to see that, because it's not your usual John Williams sweeping type thing. It was very kind of quirky.
Well, if you've ever watched any John Williams behind the scenes stuff, they'll have a huge movie screen going. John Williams and the orchestra in front of him, so it's like you're watching how it was made type stuff.
Sure. That's really cool.
That's really cool. All right, so before we get into the meat and potatoes of the show, for those of you watching for the very first time or listening for the very first time, we have a segment that we do every week, and it is so backstory on this. Adam's dad, Virgil, is a segment called Virgil Asks a Question. His dad he's got just the most trivial knowledge of anybody I've ever met.
Yep.
What'd you say?
He knows. Oh, he's king of trivia. He knows about everything. Yeah,
he does.
Yep.
He does. And so every week he sends us a trivia question, and I try to answer it. I'm usually about 50%.
And this one ties into what we were just talking about.
Jurassic Park or John Williams?
The music.
Okay. Oh, if it's music, I might know a little bit. So
the instruments. How about that? I'll get even more.
Okay.
You say so.
So let's hit Virgil Asks a Question and play it, Adam.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, I have this week's Virgil Asked a Question. To obtain this title, you must attend a school teaching this art, earn a degree or certificate, or be an apprentice with an experienced teacher in their workshop. You'll learn how to repair, design, and craft instruments. You should have skills in woodworking, design, and performance. While there have been thousands over time, here are the 5 that most music historians consider to be the best makers of all time. Antonio Stradivari.
Oh, it's a violin.
Giuseppe
It's not the question.
Guarneri. Andre Guarneri. Niccolo Amici, and Francisco Ruggieri. In America, Ren Ferguson is among the most noted in the U.S. since the 70s. My question is, what is the title that these people are most noted for?
Violin maker.
What's the name of that, though? There's a specific title. And it's only given to people who go through the process and get the education and all that.
Master violin maker.
Close.
Really?
You're halfway there. It's master luthier.
I did not know the luthier.
Luthier. And it's any string instruments that have a neck and a sound box.
Okay, so
like
guitar,
guitars, violins, things like that.
So
master luthier.
Is Gibson not a master luthier?
He would be.
Okay.
He would be. Yeah.
Les Paul?
Yes, he would be too. That would be the official title, not master guitar maker.
Master guitar man
of the guitar.
He's a getter man.
So when you like going to the symphony, thank your local master luthier for helping out with the instruments.
I'll put that. I will use the that luthier with the same tone that I give numismatist.
A numismatist, that's right. You know, that is one. There might be a point in your life where if you're at a bar doing trivia, that might come up.
That one might come up.
That one might come up.
Yeah.
You never know.
Master.
If you get it right and you win a gift card, send the gift card to.
No.
Okay. You can keep it.
Well, it depends. It depends on what it is. I mean,
it's for something local that we don't have where we are. Don't worry about it. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Love it.
By the way, I never thanked you for helping me win the pizza in Chattanooga a year ago.
Helping you win I vaguely remember that.
For the Star Wars trivia we did for my aunts.
That's right.
And I won it, and we won it, and I ate the pizza.
Was it delicious?
It was amazing, actually.
Good. I'm glad.
I did a Cajun pizza.
Ooh.
Had Cajun roux instead of the tomato sauce.
Okay.
And it was andouille sausage and crawfish.
Okay. Sounds like something they would have made at that place we ate at, the Toy Box.
It does, doesn't it?
It's just funky enough, you know.
Yeah. All right. So seamlessly moving into our main topic, Adam had a great idea.
Great. Oh, Ron Ferguson was the Gibson guitar luthier. So there you go.
Oh, well, there you go. There are so many movies that have unfinished business. And maybe not the unfinished business you would think of. Like the one that's been talked to death. Was the top spinning? Was it falling in Inception? I really think it was falling. I think he was not in a dream.
He was not. You can tell by whether or not he's wearing his wedding ring. But.
Right. He had his wedding ring when he spun it.
Yeah.
So there's that one. There's 5 or 6 of them that just don't immediately come to mind right now, but if you looked it up, you'll see them. So we have come up with a list. I think Adam has a few of them, and I have a couple that we're going to talk about here. Sure. Adam, since we were on a Jurassic Park theme earlier, why don't you start with yours?
So this is more. There's a couple of them. And I'll start with the smaller one, and then we'll go to the bigger one.
Okay.
So this is kind of
a red herring, if you will.
A what?
A red herring, if you will.
That's right. So there's a point in the movie where Dodgson meets at that little outdoor cafe with Nedry and gives him $750,000 cash.
Look, no one cares.
Dodgson, we got Dodgson here. Yeah. Gives him $750,000 cash in a brown leather satchel. And
yes,
that's his motivation, is the money. But it's not an integral, that bag and the money inside of it itself is never a major plot point from that point forward. So if you think forward into the movie, Nedry dies very, I can't even think of a good word, very poorly in a bad situation, whatever you would say. Anyway, he gets eaten by a Dilophosaurus in his Jeep.
Does he get eaten by the Dilophosaurus? I think the Dilophosaurus just poisons him.
No, he poisons him and then attacks him. Whether he eats him or not, you don't know, but he attacks him in the Jeep.
Right.
And so let's assume, or let's ask first, did he deposit the cash? Or did he?
No, he's carrying the satchel. I think that happens right after the meeting.
Well, it's the next day.
Well,
it's the next day. So let's assume that he hasn't, which is my assumption. That means that there's a brown satchel that should be on his person in that Jeep. Eventually, somebody's going to come along on that island in Jurassic Park 2, 3, whichever one, Isla Sorna, Isla Nublar, they all bounce around, right?
Right.
But let's just say somebody came upon that Jeep. What would you do with that money?
I would tell nobody and pocket it.
There you go.
Because it was unmarked bill.
There's $750,000 of cash and a Barbasol canister loaded with viable dinosaur embryos that are themselves worth millions of dollars.
Well,
just
no, hold up. the dinosaur embryos were already given. If you watch Jurassic World, he has that Barbasol can.
Yeah, but I'm just saying at the end of Jurassic Park, at that
Right.
moment, there's a bag of cash and shaving cream can. The shaving cream can does come up later, which is suspect because they said they were viable for only 48 hours. But anyway, we'll talk about that in a different episode. But bag of cash. If they came across that can, there's a bag of cash at the top of that hill.
So I think Jurassic World does what you hate, and it's what the prequels and the sequels have done, and it's closed loopholes. I think Jurassic World, by him having that Barbasol can, is telling you that he went back and got the cash and the Barbasol can.
Yeah, but they don't talk about the cash.
No, they don't.
Unfinished business. Could you potentially have had a scenario where they found the can somehow because it got covered in mud, but they missed the easy money at the top of the hill?
No. So if he went back to get the can,
you're going to open up that Jeep with that dude inside of it after how long, and you're going to take that bag? So here's the question: would you approach that scene? Is $750,000 enough for you to approach that scene, risk being eaten, reach over Dennis Nedry's body, and take that bag?
If I knew what was in the can, yes.
No, if you knew what was in the bag. But not talking about the can. I was never talking about the can.
I know you weren't.
Bag. Hey, Ryan.
That's what I think. If you know what was in the bag and the can, which is that guy knows what was in the can and the bag.
Sure. Okay.
I truly think that they would have gone back and gotten it.
But you didn't hear my question.
And I think Jurassic World closes that loophole.
You personally.
Yes.
If you were the one that found the can.
Yes.
Is it worth 700? If let's say you knew what was in the bag, let's say somehow you'd overheard their conversation. Would you open that door knowing what's inside of there?
Yes, I would.
Reach across that man's body, poisoned body, to get that bag
for free cash. Yes, I would.
That's my question. $750,000 enough for you to do that? And your answer is yes. Okay.
Yes, I would.
So no matter what happens, if anybody found it, they would have taken it. That closes the loophole.
I think
whether it was Barbasol can man or not. Got it.
Yes, I do think so.
All right.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be my short one. So what do you think happened? They mentioned at the beginning that there was a lawsuit of the worker that was killed at the beginning when they're trying to load the Raptor and it busts the cage away from the door and all of that. Well, now you've got that worker and you've got the computer guy's family and you've got the lawyer's family and you've got injured kids and injured people. Do you think there was like this spur of lawsuits that came after that? That was one question that I think. Do you think that now Hammond has more trouble? But obviously he didn't, if you follow the story, because he was able to have a dying wish that his company would go on when he gave it to the other guy, right? So the company evidently was still financially viable. But here's my question.
No lawsuits.
Do you think that he still financed their dig for a further 3 years?
No.
He promised it, though. And he's still alive. Unlike the book, spoiler alert, Hammond made it out. So did they. And he promised them if they came down, and he agreed with him in the Jeep that he decided not to sign off on the park. So have I. So he owes them 3 years.
But where would they? Why? Why would you want to dig when you see dinosaurs right there?
Because you're not going back there ever again, and you probably signed an NDA to never mention it to somebody, right?
But they did. They did go back.
They did go back. I know. I'm just saying, do you think he financed their dig for a further 3 years?
I think that they just want to get away from Hammond.
Yeah, probably not. I don't blame him. I don't want your blood money, Hammond.
I don't want this crap. No. I think
but if you have a bag of $750,000, I will reach across the dead man to get it. Thank you.
Of course you would.
All right. What's yours?
All right. So I'm going to start off with a morbid one first. All right.
We're just talking about reaching across a dead body.
Oh, this is even more well, okay. Some people would think it's more morbid.
Okay.
So the whole start of Wizard of Oz, right?
Yeah,
was
morbid.
Yeah. Was the this mean old lady was wanting to take Toto because she claimed Toto bit her in the leg, right?
Yeah.
We go through Oz. Supposedly it's a dream. I have my thoughts. I don't think it was a dream. I think it was a drug-related dream.
Oh my gosh.
But we wake up and it's all happy, right?
Yeah.
So was the Toto thing resolved? Did she, I mean, was her, so the tornado happens. We don't know how much of Kansas it destroys. I mean, this is the Dust Bowl when it was made.
Yeah.
Did she have to give Toto to the mean old lady? Was Toto euthanized? What do you think?
No.
Why? What happened?
Because they thought that they lost her. Would you do that to that poor girl after she was laying there on the bed unconscious?
No. No. But
this is the 30s.
What's to say that lady doesn't come back and say, hey,
I think they'd already told her once to mind her own business.
Right.
And she went and got the law. See, my dad says the house fell on her. She was the other wicked wish. Maybe that was the real part of the dream. Maybe a house really did fall on her.
But so
in the tornado.
I don't know. I mean, if the law came and took the dog.
Yeah, the law's worried about the tornado damage now.
But Dorothy wouldn't unlawfully got Toto back.
Sure.
Unlawfully.
And then they had a tornado and everybody forgot about it.
No.
How do you no? It was false, sir.
The law stops for no person.
You should remake that movie for today then. Oh, that's warm coffee. All right. Anyway.
All right. I got another one. You ready? This is more modern. The Dark Knight Rises.
Which I've only seen once and don't remember that much of. Fun fact.
Okay. Well, at the very end, not Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Gosh. I had the Mufasa things stuck in my head. I have to remember what this guy's name is. Why can't I remember his name? I'm Googling right now.
Christian Bale?
No. Oh, crap. He is Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
His last name is Blake. Is he Robin?
Yes, because his middle name is Robin.
But is he really Robin?
As much as he could be as a police officer. I mean, he wouldn't be doing gymnastics or twirling around on a trapeze like.
See, I think
in the other one.
So in the Batman movies, when Robin takes over for Batman, or in the comics, it's given to the guy. Basically, his name is Blake, who becomes Batman. Yeah. So are we supposed to believe that is who takes over?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. And then here's the other question.
Okay.
Is Bruce alive?
Well, if he's not, then that would mean the butler is not either.
That's what that...
And the girl's not either because she was there.
Right. But you know how Christopher Nolan does.
Oh,
and
sure.
This is a Nolan movie. So are they in the afterlife? Or are they in Tahiti somewhere sipping on Mai Tais?
I think it was, wasn't it in Europe?
Well, still, I'm just.
Let me tell you, if they were in the afterlife, they could pick wherever they wanted to go, and that would not be a sidewalk cafe. But no, I think he is. I think it represents freedom from what he had become, and he made good on what he told.
So he just randomly one day shows up and Alfred's there and he's there.
Well, he knows where. Well, Alfred doesn't know he's there. Alfred looks up and he's there. And that's his way of saying, I've still got it because I snuck up. And you see, I'm doing what I said I would do. I just choose not to use it anymore. And I have freedom now.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think he's dead. I think that's an afterlife scene.
Interesting. Should have spun a top and then we'd know.
Right? Exactly.
Although I don't know if that works across movies with Nolan, but
you never know. All right, what's your next one?
Oh, let's see. Let me pull up my notes.
Or do you want me to go with my next one? Because I've got.
No, I'll do my next one. So, Little Mermaid.
Uh-huh.
Did a little bit of reading behind this because the thought popped into my head. She collected a lot of things.
Isn't it neat?
Isn't it neat? And then her dad destroyed it.
Right.
But if you look into the story, the canon, if you want to call it direct to VHS movies canon, if you look at it, her dad in Little Mermaid 2, not her dad, but in Little Mermaid 2, it's back. The collection is there again.
I've never seen Little Mermaid 2.
In Little Mermaid 2. I hadn't either. But it's so in the TV series, if you follow the saga de collection, in the TV series, which is supposed to be before the movie, she has an initial collection but has to destroy it because Ursula curses it. So then she, by the time the movie rolls around, has now made this new collection, which Sebastian finds and rats her out, and her dad.
Right.
Well, come the second movie, there's a collection again. So my question is, how did the collection get back? Did Dad magically, put it there?
He could have
do it right. But here's more of my question. When you go from collecting dingle hoppers and rats and blats or whatever they were called, right? Forks and pipes and stuff. And they're this coolest thing. And then all of a sudden you live in a world where there's 50 billion of these things everywhere.
Right.
What would she find fascination in then? And the collection coming back, was that something she went back and did, which I don't know if she can, but or did her dad do it because he missed her? Where did the second collection come from? And what does she collect now?
I think her dad. Right. I think her dad did it for sure because he missed her. And her second collection are Funko Pops.
I have all the Disney 100 Funko Pops. Look at this stuff. I kept it in the box. Are you trying to show us something? For everybody who's listening to the podcast, he's panning across his Funko Pop collection.
Yes.
And his Figment popcorn bucket.
And
that's
I've got
the most expensive thing you own, sir.
It is actually.
It was at the time.
Yes. Actually, no, I got this year's.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get last year's. But this year's has the Epcot 40th strap.
Ooh, fancy.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. All right, what about you? What's your next one?
All right. This is a good intellectual debate because this is something that okay, we'll debate it. Ready?
Ready.
How does Leia remember her mother?
Anybody who can fly, I was thinking about this on the ride home today. Anybody who can fly in space when they're half dead, even Star-Lord can't do that. It's got to be some force thing. Now
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's my favorite line. But it's obviously one of those scenarios where the writing was done before the prequels. So they filmed the prequel and George was like, oh, I don't care about this discontinuity. I'm just going to do it anyway this way.
No one's ever going to remember this.
Right. And we end up having a fanboy culture 30 years later where we talk about everything ad nauseum. But no, I would say that if you asked for the official explanation, it's probably some kind of force-induced memory because the force binds all things, including your memories.
I would say so. I also think Leia's not even the oldest. I was going to try to say the oldest thing, but no. I bad writing. That's all I could say. Bad writing.
They had a really good opportunity, I think, in Obi-Wan for her to say some kind of line that might have helped.
Right.
Connect those dots, but
because she doesn't even in that show, if I remember correctly, she doesn't even really know that she's adopted until
it doesn't seem so.
Right, until Obi-Wan tells her.
Yeah.
So
but she says, like, somehow I've always known, too, in Return of the Jedi, which makes it seem like there was something buried that maybe the Force, I don't know.
It's got to be a Force.
It's
got to be. It's
either the Force or Dave Filoni, the only two things that matter in Star Wars anymore.
Oh, Dave Filoni, come on.
All right, my dad asked a question real quick. This is Virgil asked a question number 2. What is your got to have Funko Pop?
Well, okay, if we're talking me personally, and this is the most, I'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, he has walked out of his chair. For those of you listening, I hear him going across the room.
Adam knows exactly which one I'm coming back with. The most I have ever spent on a Funko Pop.
Is this the Matterhorn?
No.
Oh, the Duel on Mustafar?
Duel on Mustafar. And just because of how much I love this scene and how much I've always been a fan of Hayden Christensen's Anakin Skywalker.
Not always. Don't listen to him.
So, and I love, by the way, we have not talked about this on a podcast since we've been back, Adam. I think this is now the perfect time.
Oh boy.
To talk about this. In fact, I'm not going to play it on the screen. I'm just going to play it on my phone.
Okay.
You
got me nervous.
There has been a debate between me and Adam forever about why Hayden Christensen he thinks is not a good actor. But I'm about to play you something that I sent Adam, and he agrees. Hey, this could have been right.
On Hayden Christensen's acting in the prequels. Now, obviously, at this point, we all know that 90% of the issues with the prequels was just the writing and the dialogue direction. George Lucas doesn't know how to tell actors how to deliver the lines he's written. But when you really start to think about Hayden Christensen's performance as Anakin Skywalker, you start to realize all he's doing is mimicking James Earl Jones' cadence for Darth Vader. I mean, take a couple of Vader's lines, right? Don't use a deep voice with them. You have Anakin Skywalker.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
You are part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing. Like, it's the same exact cadence. He is playing Darth Vader without the mask on. So I get it. Yeah, he sounds whiny. It sounds like he's whining about everything. That's just how James Earl Jones would sound if he had a higher voice. I mean, what do you want?
Okay, so
thoughts?
Yeah, I have lots of thoughts. The main one that comes through is with all the technology we have today,
right?
I want somebody to AI Hayden Christensen using the prequels as the model, delivering Darth Vader's lines, and let's put this to bed once and for all. Not some influencer doing his best impression. Somebody needs to make that happen. It's possible.
Okay.
Right? And if we were the first show to do it, we would be viral like this character is. But here's the thing. I find your lack of faith disturbing. It's not the same thing as I find your lack of faith disturbing.
But he used the same tenor as James Earl Jones.
No. I find your lack of faith disturbing. Not I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
That's not what I know. That's not what the guy did in the video. What the guy did in the video you just played that you said proved you right, said that Anakin's delivery is I find your lack of faith disturbing. Not the same thing at all.
But he used the same cadence.
It's an actor early in his career with a big role that was much too big for him, with a director that notoriously, if you go back and read the first Star Wars book he wrote before they polished the dialogue and he had anybody touch it, it reads like an 18th century Shakespearean drama. You got a dude who literally had a blank check to do whatever the heck he wanted to. And you've got an actor early in his career saying, how do you explain Natalie Portman as the queen then? Oh, we're going to have to use diplomacy. The same flatness.
But she's actually a good actress. She was already in a bunch of stuff.
The best thing
she'd
been in that back then was the movie where she had a baby in Walmart.
The Walmart baby. Heck yeah.
Come on.
Dude, you and I both love that movie. Probably because of the soundtrack. And
you
it was
know what the biggest problem with the prequels was?
What's that?
What it proves more than anything else, because it was so ahead of its time. Actors did not know how to act in front of 75 to 90% green screen. Actors need the people and the elements and the smoke and the boom. Nobody knew how to method act in front of fake stuff. They do now. That's all they ever do. But I think that George Lucas script plus a Hayden Christensen that hadn't hit his stride yet, plus acting in an unreal environment where nothing was really there, I think it produced flatness. We got to get this AI thing done. I will not cede my point until we get the AI thing done, because that guy's like, I find your lack of faith disturbing.
All right.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
She was in Mars Attacks in 1996.
Okay.
She was then in Phantom. Do what?
As what?
Taffy Dale. She was then in Phantom Menace.
Was that the second movie she was ever in?
No, there was just a bunch of nothings. Beautiful Girls. I don't know that one. Then she was in Phantom Menace, Where the Heart Is, Zoolander.
Zoolander.
Then she was in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, but in doesn't mean like you're the main character in.
Then she was in Cold Mountain, Garden State, and then Revenge of the Sith.
Let me tell you what's really wrong with the prequels. It's not Hayden Christensen.
Okay.
What's really wrong with the prequels is the fruit cutting scene.
What?
This is what a Jedi would do on a date with a CGI apple that they fakely take a bite out of. It's so cringe.
Well, okay, that's
So
Attack
cringe.
of the Clones. Attack of the Clones.
Let's be honest. The only reason, Attack of the Clones. Oh, look, her outfit changed in just a way that might be mildly interesting to a teenage boy. Anyway, the problem with the prequels, and not the problem, the thing about the prequels is everybody who grew up with it, like Goofy Movie. When Goofy Movie came out, it was the biggest meh burger that anybody over a certain age ever experienced, and anybody under a certain age watched it because it was on. The prequels we went to see because they were Star Wars. It was the biggest meh burger for anybody over a certain age. If you're under a certain age,
Adam,
this is my childhood. What's happening?
No, Adam, you and I went to Walmart at midnight
because it was the first Star Wars movie since 1983. What were we going to do? Not buy it?
Yeah,
I watched that VHS maybe one time,
really?
Maybe twice, maybe. It's not a good movie. And now everybody in their 30s is starting to feel a little bit creaky when they get out of bed in the morning, and they're reminiscing for their younger days, and everything created just like we did. Everything created when they were that age is now the best thing anybody ever made. Who knew the Powerline song before it trended again? Who had talked about Goofy Movie over the last 20 years before some people got viral with it? Nobody. You know how I know that? Because if they had been talking about it, Disney would have sold merchandise for it, and there was zero merchandise available.
So, okay, I'll secede your Powerline.
Thank you.
Point.
Thank you.
But
I'll actually let you talk now.
Okay, but have I ever wavered in my point that I have always loved the prequels?
I don't say none of us walked out of episode 1 saying we loved that movie.
I disagree. I saw that 4 times in the theater. 4 times.
Okay.
The only one I walked out of saying, was Attack.
So if I asked you 13 years ago, before Unrelated at Birth, before kids, before anything, when you were in late 20s, what's your top Star Wars movies?
Revenge of the Sith would have been 2.
Even back then?
Even back then.
Okay. All right. Where would number 1 have been?
Return.
No, and where would the first movie, episode 1, have been? Lower on the list. It's risen with time.
4. I would say 4. I would say 4.
With time. Everything does.
I would would have put it at 4.
Yeah. It's the same group. It's the same group of people who were realizing.
No. Hold on.
What?
Phantom is still not tops on my list. Don't mistake
You
that.
mix the prequels in with the original trilogy much more now than you probably would have about 15 years ago.
No.
No.
I would have back then, before all of this,
before Rogue One, especially
before Rogue One, I would have done. I'm just thinking, Return, Sith, New Hope, Empire, Phantom, Attack.
Okay, that's cool. I still want the AI thing. We need to figure out this AI thing. We got to settle that debate once and for all. But here's the funny thing about it. It is very interesting being old enough to watch a previous generation fall in love all over again with everything that they grew up with, like we did, right?
Right.
But it's also funny to watch a generation realize they don't remember everything about their childhood as specifically as they think they did. And so they call it the Mandela effect because something must be wrong. I couldn't possibly have this bad of a memory. It has to be that the earth is in an alternate timeline because I can't be this fallible. It's called coming to grips with getting old.
I do think that there is a Mandela effect. I do.
You think the earth has jumped timeline?
No. I do think that there is a such
It'd be
thing.
easier if it's flat. So what do you think? Do you think that the media is manipulating things?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Rewriting history. Anyway.
Yeah, it could be. But be careful what you say, because remember, I'm technically a millennial.
We're off by a year, though. It's not like we're 5 years apart.
I know. We're technically zennials. So, your dad has a question. Virgil asked a question, part tre. For people who watch the Marvel movies and were not a big Marvel fan before them, were the cameo appearances of Martin Goodman a waste of film? I don't know what he's speaking of.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Let's to the Google machine.
To the Googles. Let's see. I think he means Martin Freeman.
Yes,
Morgan. I agree.
Yes,
Martin Freeman, given what he was able to do in Sherlock.
Oh yeah, so good.
I think it's a definite waste of film. I think the first 2 Thor movies were also a waste of film.
The first one was great because the first one was great.
Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. It feels a lot like episode 1 and 2. It's a lot of thine thou very feeling.
Well, what's very funny
kind of things, you know.
Who's also in Thor? Natalie Portman.
See, maybe that's the theme. Maybe
that is what, there you go. All right. Do you have another movie you want to talk about?
I do. All right. I'm going to say
he says Stan Lee.
Oh, Stan Lee? No,
never a waste when he's on film.
I don't think so, because they always added an extra element to the story. And when he ended up being one of the
Watchmen.
Watchmen, yes, I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Last Crusade, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
That's funny because I've got one of the Last Crusade too.
We're hunting for the Grail, and X marks the spot. Right. We smash the floor in time with the librarian using the stamp on the books. We go down into the tomb. We find the thing. We come up through a manhole and we just leave. Who's going to pay the damage? I mean, you literally have a ton of like other things in these movies that could say the same thing, especially in Temple. But when the first few scenes of Temple, but it's like, who's gonna? What did the librarian come around the corner? He's like, man, what you know? It's like,
once you come back with the Grail, you say, hey, look, dude, look what I found because of this.
Drink some of this, you'll be cool. Trust me, we're square now, right? But who's gonna pay for all that damage? And did anybody go down there and see like the rats? And then once you lit the fire down there,
right?
Did it come back up the hole into the light? I got to know about this library. I feel sorry for it. Libraries are institutions of knowledge. Anyway, that was one that stuck out to me.
That's a good question.
Can't even speculate what happened. They didn't give you enough information after that. They don't even revisit it. That poor guy was just doing his job, you know?
Yeah.
So there you go. What's your Indiana Jones one?
So here we go. This is a movie that could be fixed with one easy note.
Wait. You said fixed.
Yeah, fixed. Or just ended right here.
Ended, I'll take. If you say that there's something that needs to be fixed with Last Crusade, I might pull up there and we're going to engage in fisticuffs, sir.
There's no point in this movie. Henry mails Indiana the Grail diary because he's in danger. Maybe put a note in there. Movie over.
Hang on. Keep expound on that a little bit.
Okay. So you put all he does is sends him the Grail diary. It doesn't have to be long. Just, hey, Indiana, I need some help. Follow this.
Where I am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you look, I have a screen accurate replica of a Grail diary right here.
Okay.
Comes with the strap, and over there's the paper with the stamps and everything. Look at all of the inserts and notes in here. There's an insert here.
Right.
There's an insert, a telegram here. Stick a note in the book is what you're saying, right? You've already got all that stuff in there. Yeah.
All you got to do, wrap it in a piece of paper, tie a note to it. Hey, Indiana, here we go. Follow this.
Come say you are a curtain designer or a fashion.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny because they were looking for that, right? They ransacked his house looking for it, but it had been delivered to his office. And he said they're looking for this, And if they had found it and the note was in it, they would have already known the contents of the note, so it wouldn't have put anybody in any danger. But then, like the movie pitch guy says on YouTube, but then we wouldn't have the movie. So There's
barely an inconvenience.
What do you think about the whole Indiana Jones didn't influence the plot of Raiders of the Lost Ark one bit?
It's the truth.
Say that to the family of the guy who was swinging the sword. They lost their papa that day.
Okay, but did that have one iota of what happened in the end of the movie?
No, because they would have opened it and the same thing would have happened.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. But then no one would have been there to tell anybody about it. And the Ark of the Covenant would have set out there and someone could eventually have gotten their hands on it. But technically by Indiana Jones being there, it's why it got locked away in the army warehouse. So the last scene is where his influence comes.
That's the only place
bureaucratic fools.
Anything to do with it.
That's all you need. Sometimes it's just that extra little bit.
So, all right. This is actually a pretty cool website I found. 17 movie plots that could have been resolved with a simple conversation. Number 3, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If Harry and Ron just told someone that they missed the train, if Ginny had told literally anyone, if Harry had told Dumbledore what he heard in the pipes, if Hermione had voiced her theory instead of just running away from the library, and why did Ron and Harry go to Lockhart when they found out he was a fraud and take him to the chamber? Just take him to the staff room, tell McGonagall something. Yeah. Then Harry wouldn't have had to face the riddle and the basilisk alone.
Everybody say it with me, because then we wouldn't have a movie.
Right? All right. The Last Jedi. No one told Poe and the others what the plan was, and they went off having their own plan, which basically was unnecessary and caused a whole lot of problems on its own. Literally everything in this movie would have just been solved if they had talked to each other.
That's not the only problem with that one, but yes.
Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. When Harry asks where Sirius is, Creature lies. But if Harry had contacted Sirius more directly and didn't trust someone who hated him, Sirius and the Order of Phoenix, Harry wouldn't have fought in the ministry, and Sirius wouldn't have died. The fact that Harry hadn't confirmed with Sirius directly, even when he was suspicious, is one of the ultimate communication fails. It also leads to the death of my favorite character, which makes me want to punch Harry.
Emotional damage.
There's a lot of baggage there.
Yeah, Back to the Future
fictional character.
Well, I mean, it's truth. Back to the Future 2. Doc could have literally just told Marty about the crash and his son without traveling to the future. The whole movie didn't need to happen.
What would that? Okay, being a big Back to the Future nerd, we have to go down this path now.
Yes.
What would that have done? Like, how would that have played out if he told him and they didn't actually go?
Then if you say, hey, here's what happens in 20 years, don't do this.
But I'm trying to think how the almanac comes into play.
It wouldn't have had to happen.
That wouldn't have even happened, yeah.
Right, because they wouldn't have gone. He wouldn't have bought the almanac.
Then you wouldn't have. That's a toy for babies.
You wouldn't have had probably my favorite Back to the Future.
Yeah, it's the best. Did you get the sunglasses from Pizza Hut when it came out?
Oh, heck, yeah.
Oh, yeah. The red and yellow ones that came to like a truck.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yes.
That was good stuff. That was good stuff. Back when sat in the sunroom of Pizza Hut and drank out of the red cups.
Oh, dude. Pizza Hut back in the day where you read a certain amount of books. You got to have one of those little personal pan pizzas.
I saw a training video for Pizza Hut that came across my feed, and it was like, the customer wants their pizza hot and ready, and they cut over to, and she's explaining it. As soon as you get a ticket, start making it. And it cuts over to the lady serving the pizza to the people on their plates, like at the table. Like, man,
that was so fun.
Oh yeah, those were the days. I can still smell it. What
dude,
it smells like.
A buffet and salad bar.
Yeah.
Dude.
Our Pizza Hut back home had a big sign out back that had numbers on it, like 1 to 30 or 40. And you'd order your pizza, wait out in the back parking lot, and when your number lit up, you'd pull up to get it. Those were good times.
Cool. That's cool.
Those are good times. High tech back then, man. Let me tell you.
Man, you tell you what.
Order number 36. Ding. All right.
Your pizza is now ready.
All right, I've got one more.
Okay.
I had a Rocketeer one. I'll throw it out there if anybody loves. Who is it that loves Rocketeer?
You?
No, is it Jeff?
Maybe. It might be Jeffrey.
I think it is Jeffrey. What happens to Bigelow's airfield? The Rocketeer at the end, Secord gets a new plane, but the guy who owns the airfield that he flies at is dead.
Good point.
So who runs the airfield that he flies out of now? Anyway, this is one we can get into a little bit deeper though, because I know not a lot of people love the Rocketeer like I do. Lotso in Toy Story 3 was a toy at Sunnyside.
Right.
And then one day the child who loved him the most at that daycare shows up and he's gone.
Right.
So Toy Story series is a movie all about all the different ways that the toys can mean something to a child. Someone loved Lotso and didn't know he was a villain, and they showed up and he was gone the next day. Chew on that, suckers.
Ooh. I've got one for you here. This is a Toy Story. What they should have done before Andy goes off to college, before he gives the toys to Bonnie, right?
Yeah.
Line up his toys and say, look, I know you're alive. I know you move. Woody, if you don't move, I'm going to kill one of your toys.
Oh my God. That's horrible.
5 seconds go by. Woody stays frozen. So he tears up Mr. Potato Head. That's on you, Woody. You have 5 more seconds. Pulls the head off of Rex.
Oh my gosh. That's worse than Sid in Toy Story 1, man.
I know.
Holy cow.
Actually, they're making a Toy Story 5. Let's end on this one. What would be your perfect ending to the Toy Story? Like Toy Story 4, while it was good, it gave us Forky. Probably maybe unneeded.
Well, again, every movie has a theme.
Right.
The first theme was birthdays and Christmas. The second movie was collectors.
Right.
Third movie was handing down toys from one generation to the next. And the fourth one was antiques. So you've got to think about how toys are interacted with, and you can figure out what the fifth one would be. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's pool toys.
No, I've got
I honestly haven't thought about it enough, but it's got to have something to do with one realm of toys that they haven't touched on yet.
You want to come full circle?
Come full circle. Go ahead.
All right. Andy's out of college now.
Okay.
Bonnie's getting a little older.
Mm-hmm.
Andy's married. And his wife is expecting. Bonnie understands that. And
the baby's a toy.
And gives the baby the toy.
No, the baby is a toy.
No, but Bonnie gives the toys to Andy's child. So
full circle.
Full circle.
I like that.
That to me, that's the only way to end it.
But what's it going to be about? What's the adventure to get to that point?
The toys are freaking out because they're about to have a third owner.
And then she pulls up and it turns out at the end that it's
Andy's
pregnant wife. Am I pregnante? Yeah. Okay. I can see that.
Do you subscribe to the theory that Jesse's original owner was Andy's mom?
The only thing anybody has to go off of on that is the hat that he wears in the first movie.
Right.
I think it's possible. But if it's true, then she's heartless. Don't let her around your toys, Andy.
Right? I think it's true.
Yeah. Well, how about this? What if in Toy Story 5 you find out who it is? Ooh. Both her and you find out who the girl that left Lotso and Big Baby behind was. And they play into the story.
That'd be
the nameless characters thus far.
Well, so your dad has a good point. Woody is now
off with Bo Peep.
Off with Bo Peep. So what would Andy say when Woody's not there?
I don't want any of these toys without him. Leave me.
There you go. That's the story. the toys find out they're going back to Andy, and they have to go back to Woody.
They have to go find him again. So you created 4 to separate them, just to bring up 5 where they have to all get together again.
Right.
And then Bo Peep goes back to being a lamp instead of a ninja, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Back to the beginning.
Yeah,
what's old is new again.
I love it. Can I tell you, I don't have a problem with Lightyear. The one thing I wish they had done, every Pixar movie starts with a short.
Right.
I think they should have done a head fake with Lightyear. And it looks like a short, but it's really a short that's in the theater where Andy's going to see the Lightyear movie for the first time.
That's
and instead of a text crawl, you show the short, and then the short backs up, and Andy's sitting there in the seats, and the lights go dim, and it pops up, and he's actually in the theater watching it, like showing it.
Yeah.
That visceral connection, I think, would have been.
That would have been better than they did it.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll see. Maybe it ties into that somehow. Who knows?
That'd be cool.
Maybe Buzz Lightyear can actually travel through space and time, and it turns into an interstellar kind of thing where he goes back in time to keep Andy from giving them to Bonnie, but he turns out that by doing that, he's actually lost 30 years.
My brain hurts.
Just picture Matthew McConaughey sitting there crying, but it's Buzz Lightyear. Oh, anyway.
That'd be great. That'd be funny.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, y'all. Well, my voice is about had it. Hey, what?
I know. I got one more. While we're on the Toy Story kick, I typed one more. Just hang on 1 second.
But my voice.
So Sid did bad things.
Right.
At the end, they're like, "We're watching you, Sid," and then he freaks out. Right.
Right.
Then we see in Toy Story 3.
Right.
He's a garbage man because there's a dude in the same shirt, right? And it's kind of weird that he had the same shirt, like a bigger size of the same shirt. It's like, but I guess some of us do that.
What are you talking about?
What happened between those two? You have a child who you go into his bedroom and he was literally taking apart toys, is suddenly scared of them. And he didn't even say a word to his parents, like about what happened, or they don't know.
Would you want to?
Yeah, but somebody's got to notice that every time his sister walks in the room with a doll, he like freaks out. I mean, I know his dad was asleep in the chair and they don't seem like very involved parents, but did he have to like see someone?
Dude, it's the 90s. No one did therapy in the 90s.
Suck it up, kid.
Suck it up, kid.
Right. The toys, for Pete's sake. I'm going to go in here and watch my show again. It's bowling.
Right. It's time for the bold and beautiful, kid.
Love it. I love it.
Yeah. No one did therapy in 95.
Not in 90. Well, adults on sitcoms and Seinfeld and stuff did, but
right.
It was mostly for laughs.
It was for laughs. No one
for laughs.
Only the weak did therapy. Come on. Losers.
Do you have the voice to take us out, Dave?
I think I could try it.
All right.
Guys, I guys and gals, we appreciate you. We thank y'all for coming back, and we thank us for doing the live thing again. This was fun.
Yes, it was good.
Thank y'all for being nice to each other in the comments. Gold star.
Gold star. You.
Hey, by the way, 2 nights in a row, the Braves came back from 5-0 down.
Yep.
And won. We just won.
Nobody had to drop a ball tonight, though, right?
Nobody had to drop their balls tonight.
That was crazy.
I know. It's fun being a Braves fan. Yeah. But anyway, guys, we love y'all. We say it every week, every other week now. We're going to do the show every other week because I think to give y'all the best content, y'all were able to tell there are some times where we're like, let's just do this show. But I think for the best content, what are you?
Speak for yourself. I'm always fully prepared days in advance.
Bull crap. For the best content. We're going to just check on Dave's blood pressure. It's fine. I'm good. We're going to do it every other week. Next time we do this will not be live. I will be, let's see, on a Wednesday night. I will be on a cruise ship in Cozumel. So, Adam will probably be here to premiere the video on YouTube.
We hope. We're going to see if we can make that work.
Okay. We'll try. We'll play with it.
Yeah.
But Guys, we love y'all. We really do appreciate you for listening to us and watching us and interacting with us and asking me how my blood pressure is. It's been great. So, Adam, if you want to, take them home, sir.
Absolutely. We got to say real quick, if you want to interact with the show, now that we're going back to doing lives, comments in Facebook during the live is one way to do it. You can always come back and comment on the video after the fact. We'll keep an eye on those and interact there too. Our Facebook, socials, all of that. You can also call, like my dad does for his Virgil Asked a Question. You can call 863-345-0088, 863-345-0088 to the delivery line. And every voicemail, as long as it's family appropriate, gets played on the show no matter what. So if you've got something to share, something to say, a hot take or a question, give us a call, leave a voicemail. You can be part of the show actually verbally and in an audio fashion that way. So, very nice. So
very nice.
Very nice. So now that we're closing out, guys, please remember that we love you, but not as much as Jesus does. Thanks for giving us some of your time like you always do. Stay safe out there. Be kind to one another, and we'll talk to you again, or at least I will in 2 weeks. Have fun on your cruise day.
I will try.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all.